Hey guys, what's going on? Matthew or MP Bricks here, and today we're going to be taking a look at every Dragon's Rising J minifigure. This is a pretty small group compared to some of the other ninja. They've gotten a little bit of a different treatment and all, but this is a pretty good lineup here. I still really like it, so let's dive right in. The first two Dragons Rising J minifigures we would receive are called Merge J and Mech Pilot Suit J. And these two are pretty darn good. The Merge J is more like a redone version of the OG suits with a little more color. Obviously, some of his modern colors thrown in there as well. But you can see it's just kind of a basic ninja suit, which honestly I love. Obviously, you're starting off a new series. You should probably go with a pretty basic suit, nothing crazy out of the box. These new masks were introduced for this season. I don't love them. They look great for display, for sure. It's great and easy to keep your figures' heads faced forward and everything, but it's just not great for turning them and everything. I personally don't really turn my minifigures' heads anymore anyway, but for the kids, I totally understand that. I do love the dark blue featured in here. And then removing this, we can see the rest of the torso print. We've got some yellow up there at the top with some nice little details just at the top of his robes. Very nice. I love that they put their letters on here as well. And then around back, he's got the energy source dragon symbol there. And we can see with this minifigure, we got the first introduction of this head. You've got the energy eyes there, that's the dragon power eyes, and then kind of this like really angry face. So um, maybe representative of some of the other minifigures later on for Jay, but maybe not this one necessarily. Fortunately, it does really work out here. We've never really gotten a face for Jay like that before, but it does work with this suit, especially being mostly covered up there. So, pretty darn good minifigure and a pretty darn good start. Next up with the Mech Pilot Suit Jay. I do love the dark blue in here, but maybe it can be a bit much. Some of the other ones, like Cole with the orange, it does get to be a bit much, but the dark blue here is just reserved enough that it looks really, really good. All of these figures have the same gold accents as each other, and you can almost see that it's like a dark blue robe underneath this regular blue armor, so you can see what looks like metal plating and everything. And then it moves over into their arms as well. So their arms are armored as well. So love the gold details on this figure, and you can see that head again. Season 11 armor piece returning, and around back you can see more of that armor detail with his name written in Ninjago on the back. So pretty darn cool minifigure here. I like this one a lot. He was the cheapest one actually to get, and he's a cool one. So like this guy, he's definitely a standout from the lineup of Mech Pilot suits. But that's not all we got to talk about here. So let's get on to the next two. And the next two minifigures we have are Climber J and Tournament of the Sources J. And unfortunately, that does not mean actual tournament suit J, no custom or anything. They didn't come out with the regular one. It's just the regular evil J. I do like this one, but I do wish we got both, which I will talk about that more later. But let's start with Climber J. He's got this nice new climber hook that all the ninja got. Very nice. This is another non-canon suit. The other two that we just looked at are also non-canon, so they could really go wild with these suits if they wanted to, but they are in the line of all the other ninja, and they look fantastic. I love the dark blue on this guy as well. Armored up kind of arms there, as well as those shoulders. And then the mask is dark blue, whereas the top is regular blue, which honestly, it's not all that bad. I think it does actually look really, really good. Love the yellow factored in there as well, and the gold details never ever hurt. Removing this, you can see a little more of that shirt, and you can see that speckled pattern down there, which I think is just phenomenal. I love all the ropes and straps and carabiners and all that. So really love what they did with all these figures. It's just really fantastic. And then you can see his symbol there as well. So no Source Dragon symbols on the back of these ones, which was actually the first and I believe so far only Dragon's Rising suits not to have the Source Dragon symbol on the back. Now, continuing with Evil J and then Rogue, he's not gonna have the Source Dragon symbol because he's not a ninja in those ones, and he never had any reason to have the Source Dragon symbol. These ones are just non-canon figures. However, this with the other ninja as well is the first and only one to not have the Source Dragon symbol. So, even though Jay's a little different, it's the same for them. Now, moving on to Evil Jay. He's got his nunchucks in the way here, just some black nunchucks here. They have that same build as the phenomenal nunchucks of lightning from Legacy, so that's pretty nice build there. He has a predominantly black color scheme as the torso and legs are black, and then he's got a bunch of dark blue overlaid on that, which is pretty cool. I personally really like the lighter blue, and then if you get it to shine just right, you can see those highlights on the wolves up at the top, and then the fangs. They light up, and it just looks so fantastic, like that blood moon energy is kind of surging through him, or the shatter spin energy, I guess. So pretty cool torso. Love how it shines in the light and everything. And then he was actually um, the first one to receive this tournament armor piece in black. Obviously, the ninja would eventually follow and receive it that next year, but he was the first one to use it in black, which was pretty cool. And removing it, you can see nice dark blue arms and everything. And around back, he's got a very nice wolf. If you get it in the right light, like get it to shine just right, it almost doesn't look like there's different colors there. So I don't like that. I don't love that they highlighted those features with the yellow. I kind of wish on this wolf they just did the same shiny blue where the yellow is, and then swap the yellow or swap the shiny blue that it is for the, just do the same design as on the front basically. So I do wish they did that. I don't like the yellow on the wolf on the back, but everything else yellow is fine because it's just his elemental power. So that's pretty cool. Nice figure here. I usually keep the dragon power eyes on him, but since I haven't touched this guy in a while, it is actually more accurate to the show with his just regular eyes. So, yep, that's all I got for these two, but we do have one more. So now let's get on to the final figure we have to talk about. And here's the final Dragon's Rising J minifigure. This is Rogue. And obviously it's Rogue J. And this is a pretty interesting figure. Starting off with his weapons, he's got lightning daggers here. These are pretty cool. I love how he used them in the show. And they actually come with black hilts in some of the sets. So they'll come with this instead of the gold. But this is what I have out on display right now. So we'll pull those off, and then you can see a little better look at him. He's got this nice new hat that we got for the Forbidden 5 as well, or a couple of them, I guess. But it's pretty deep. You really can't see his eyes underneath it. I do wish it was tilted just a little bit back, so, and maybe pushed more onto his head, so that maybe you could see his eyes a little better. I don't know, those are just my thoughts. But pretty cool hat. And then he's got a dark blue half mask right there with an all new face, because obviously you can't have the second face peeking out. And he's just got kind of a stern look on his face, and I love it. He then swapped to the golden tournament armor piece, whereas everyone else went with black that he had. So kind of swapping colors there. I do love the sand blue on this guy. It looks fantastic. Especially on the legs there. And then the dark red kind of moving in there is fantastic. This guy just has great color detail and everything. They did so well on this figure. He's got little dangly thingies there. One has a Ninjago letter R on it, and one has the Ninjago letter J. The first one is obviously for Rogue, and the second, obviously, for J. So back here, you can see the J there, but it almost looks like they tried to do it where it could be an R2, I don't know if that's like confirmed if it's supposed to be a mixture of both, but it definitely looks like a J to me. And I love the clouds going on this guy as well with the lightning storm. So, pretty darn cool minifigure. I do really, really like this one. This is, I don't even know where I could rank this guy because all of them are fantastic. Honestly, I feel like I would almost lean more towards the Ninja J rather than Rogue or the Evil J. However, these ones are so much more unique, I don't even think I can put them up against the Ninja ones. So, yeah, that's the last figure. So now let's get on to my overall thoughts on this grouping as a whole. So, what are my overall thoughts on this group as a whole? Personally, I love what Dragon's Rising has been doing for Jay. They have just done a phenomenal job with his storyline and his figures. Maybe not all of these are canon, but they still look fantastic. And I just really love this grouping. He doesn't really follow what many of the other ninja do, but it definitely works out well for him. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think on every Dragon's Rising J minifigure we have gotten so far. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget that Jesus loves you very, very much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.